Hello friend, I am Mrs. Padmaja Tampuri. Welcomes you back in last session of our C++ programming, and this concept is nothing but operator overloading. Okay, under under polymorphism concept, we know that there are two different types: compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. Under runtime, already we discussed the concept of virtual function and pure virtual function. Correct? Now, related to compile time polymorphism, already we discussed function overloading concept. Okay, and the remaining topic is nothing but operator overloading under compile time polymorphism. Now, polymorphism means more than one form. See, in your C++, our operators also can have more than two forms. Means different tasks can be assigned to our operator. Is that clear? Whenever we are assigning a different task to an operator, we can say my operator is overloaded. Okay. Now, first of all, we will discuss whether my operators in C++ are overloaded. Yes, my operators in C++ are already overloaded. If we consider, we will take one example here. If you consider plus and minus operator as a unary operator, these operators can be used to indicate the sign. That means plus A minus B. Okay. Now, when these operators acts as a binary operator. What do you mean by unary operator and binary operator? Whenever you are considering an operator with single variable, it is treated as unary operator. That's why plus A minus B. When the same operator acts as a binary means the operator which consider with two different variables. For example, A plus B. Here two variables are there, and these two variables join with plus operator. Correct? Here second example, C minus D. In these two examples, you come to know that when my plus and minus operator acts as a binary one, at that time these are used for addition or subtraction purpose. Okay, so this is about the operator. Previously the operators in C++ are overloaded. Okay, now see, we will take one example. From this example, we come to know that the need of operator overloading. Correct? In this example, I took one class. Class ABC is my class. In this class, I declared three private variables A, B and C. Okay. Now, I wrote one get data function in a public section. Now, this get data function is used to read the values of A, B and C data variable related to that class. Now, suppose in main program, if I declare object O and O1. Okay. Now, in short, my ABC class has three data variable, and when I declare the object O and O1 related to this OBC class, whether I can add these two objects O and O1. Can I write O plus O1 is equal to O2? Can I do such type of addition with the help of plus operator? No. We can't add these two operators with a plus sign regular way. Okay. Why? Whenever you want to add two objects, at that time the respective variables of these two objects are gets added. That means related to O dot A, related to O1 dot A. That means I have to add O dot A plus O1 dot A. Similar way, O dot B plus O1 dot B. Correct? But this can't be possible with the help of plus operator. Is that clear? That means it's impossible to use normal mathematical operation, plus, minus, multiplication, division, for doing simple mathematical calculation related to these two objects O and O1. Okay, so as I can't add these two operators, we will go to the concept of operator overloading. That means I am going to assign one new task to my plus operator or any method or any other operator to fulfill my requirement. Now, when I assign that particular new task to my plus operator, then it's possible there will be the addition of two objects O and O1. Okay, that means in short we can define my operator overloading is a phenomena in which I can assign new tasks to my operators. Okay, so now next question. There are so many operators in C++, correct? So which operators can be overloaded? Whether I can overload all the operators? No, you can't overload all operator. See, some of the list of operator which can be overloaded is given in this table. Okay, many operators you can overload in C++, except, which are those operators? Except the scope resolution operator. Second operator which cannot be overloaded, that is size of operator. The third one, member selected, that is dot operator. Next to that, member pointer selector star operator, and the last operator which cannot be overloaded, that is ternary operator. Okay, these 5 operators we can't overload in C++. Now next question. Now you know that what is need of operator overloading. Next, what do you mean by operator overloading? Which operators will be overloaded in C++? Which operators cannot be overloaded in C++? After discussing, my next point is how we can overload an operator. What are different steps to overload an operator? See, the operator OP function is used to overload an operator. That means operator is the name of function followed by the operator which you want to overload it. So in general, I can say operator OP function is used to overload an operator, and there is no any different choice to give the name for operator function or function which is to be used to give additional task to your operator. Okay, so this name of function which is used to overload an operator, that is operator OP. Now what are steps to overload an operator? My first step is declare class, related to which you have to give some extra meaning to an operator. Okay, so my first step, declare the class. You know the syntax of declaration of class. Now next step, declare operator function in that particular class. Correct? Now if you are declaring the function in a class, the third task or last step, we can say write actual function. When you want to write a function outside the class, we are using the syntax return type of that particular class. Next is class name, scope resolution operator. My function name is operator OP, and then the list of argument. Okay, after that write down the body of your function. So this is the simple task to create an operator function. You must have to keep in mind that operator OP is the name of function. In this, OP is my operator which I want to overload. Okay, this is about different steps to overload an operator. Now there are some restrictions. In this, which are these restrictions? Overloading restriction. Precedence of an operator cannot be changed. That means whenever I am overloading an operator, it gives some extra task, whereas my previous task remains as it is. Associativity of an operator cannot be changed. Okay, unary operator remain unary and binary operators remains binary. Unary and binary versions can be overloaded separately. We are going to discuss this, how you can overload an unary operator and how you can overload an binary operator. Okay, no new operator can be overloaded. Note this, means there is no any chance for user to create one extra operator and then overload it. No, those operators are in a list of C++ programming. These operators can be overloaded. Okay, no overloading operator for building types. Okay, now what are different types of operator overloading? See, there are 4 different types of operator overloading. Overloading unary operator. Second type is overloading binary operator. The third type is overloading binary operator using friend function. And the last one, moving on this article on the operator overloading. See, we will take one example. My first type is overloading an unary operator. That means how I can overload. Suppose we will take a simple example of minus sign as a unary operator. Okay, so or minus decrement operator we will try to overload. Now see, in this program, if you observe that height is my class, and in height class I declared feet and inch as private variable. Now see, there is one function height into bracket integer f integer I. Which type of function it is? For this function, the name of function is same as that of class. No any return type is mentioned. Only name of function which is same as class followed by parameter list. That means this is my constructor function. Okay. Now in this constructor function, I wrote this constructor function as parameterized constructor. That means I am passing 2 parameters in this function as a input. The parameters are f and I. Now the value of these parameters gets assigned to feet and inch data variable of object which is created. Okay. Now my next function is operator minus. Now already I told you, when you want to overload an operator, as I want to overload minus operator, I wrote the function as operator minus. Okay. Now void operator minus, this is my function. And what is the body of function? My body of function is feet minus inch minus. That means I am trying to decrement my feet variable by 1, as well as inch minus trying to decrement the value of inch data variable by 1. And at the end I am trying to print this feet and inch data variable. Okay. Now this is about the operator function. Now see, in this main program, height h1, if you concentrate on this statement, height h1 6, 2. So height h1 6, 2 means what is h1? H1 is object of height class, correct? Because data type of variable is class name. That means this is my object. Height h1. H1 becomes my object. And now recall the concept of constructor. When you declare an object, at that time automatically your constructor gets call or invoke, correct? So it will call this height constructor. What will happen then? The 6 value height h1 6 comma 2 means 6 value gets assigned to f variable in your or parameter in your constructor. 2 value gets assigned to I parameter of your constructor, and these two values 6 and 2 will be gets assigned to feet and inch data variable of h1 object respectively. Okay, now my important sentence is minus h1, correct? I am calling this operator, minus operator. So what will happen minus h1? See, when you use this operator followed by object name, at that time your operator OP function automatically gets called. Again, there is no need to call your operator OP function. Whenever you are using that particular operator, at that time your operator OP function gets called. Here I wrote minus operator. So my operator function gets called. So minus h1, it will call my operator function, and the statement from operator functions are feet minus minus inch minus minus. That means these two statement gets executed, decrementing the values of feet and inch, correct? So what is the output of this program? The output of this program is nothing but when my constructor gets called, it assigns 6 value to f variable and 2 value to I variable, and after execution of operator function, it decrements the values of these two variable by 1. So final I am getting output as feet is equal to 5 and inch is equal to 1. Okay, how the operator function gets called? Whenever you are using that operator in your function, automatically this function gets called. Okay, now see, here I am giving the, let's consider explanation of this. I wrote explanation of this program once again. If you want to concentrate, you can read out this. We overload minus unary operator to perform decrement in the two variable of height class. We pass two parameter to the constructor and save their values in feet and inch variable. Then we define the operator overloading function void operator minus, in which the two variables are decremented by 1 position. When we write minus h1, it calls the operator overloading function and decrements the values passed in the constructor. Okay, so this is about the explanation of this program. Now we will discuss how my binary operator gets overloaded. Okay, so binary operator, see, whenever your function is member function, in last program also I wrote operator function as a member function of class, correct? In the same way, here also I am writing my operator function as member function of class. And see, we are going to discuss all these rules in details at the end. in short, I told you, when my function is member function and operator is a unary operator, that time I can't pass any value as a parameter to my operator function. That's why operator OP and empty bracket in last program, correct? But now say in this program, I am trying to overload my operator as a binary operator and my function is member function. So there is a rule, whenever you are trying to overload an operator as binary, you must have to pass one parameter. Okay, so in same program I am repeating. So what this program did now, in class is height, in public section I wrote or declare two data variable feet and inch. Next, height is my constructor. There is a overloading of constructor. First height constructor without any parameter initialize feet and inch variable to 0 0. The second height function or constructor wrote by passing two different parameter f and I, just like my last program, which is used to initialize my feet and inch data variable with values f and I. That means the values passed at the time of creation of object. Okay, now I declared the operator function in this class height, and I am trying to write my operator function in this program. I am trying to write my operator function outside the class. Now how the functions, my operator OP function is now member function. Recall the rules, how I can write the member function outside the class, correct? What is the general syntax? Return type, then class name, scope resolution operator, function name and list of parameter. My class name is here, as in this operator function I am trying to return the value as object. Okay, and now you know that data type of object is class name again. See here, return h3, that means I am returning one object. Data type of object is class name. So my function type becomes class name. That's why this first height is mentioned. My second height word is nothing but the name of class followed by scope resolution operator, and then operator plus is my name of operator, which is, that means OP is replaced with plus sign. That means I am trying to overload plus operator. Okay, and in list of parameter you again come to know that once again the height word is there. For what purpose? That height word indicates me the data type of D2 variable. As my data type of D2 variable is class name, that means D2 is my object. Okay, so in short, once again I am repeating, first height is nothing but return type, as I am returning one object from this function. Second height is nothing but class name. Next, operator plus is my function name, that means I am overloading the plus operator, and in the parenthesis bracket height D2. D2 is nothing but object, that means I am passing one object to this function. Okay, now see here in this, what is the body of function? In body of function I wrote height h3, that means I declared h3 is my temporary object, one object, and h3 dot fit equal to feet plus d2 dot fit. That means, say, the value of this h3, feet value of this h3 object are nothing but addition of 2 feet values. Now, which are those 2 feet values? For that, we must have to concentrate on this main. Directly, we will concentrate on H3 is equal to H1 plus H2. What it means? When here I am using this plus sign. So, when I use this plus sign, my operator OP function, O plus operator plus function gets called. Correct? It will pass the value of H2 object in this operator plus function through D2. That means the value of H2 objects gets copied into D2, and the value of object before operator in a equation, that is H1, are directly used in your operator plus function. That means when I considered in main H3 is equal to H1 plus H2, value of feet value of H1 object gets directly considered, correct, plus D2 dot fit means the value of H2 object gets copied into D2. So the value D2 dot fit is nothing but feet value of your H2 object. That means there is a addition of feet values of 2 different objects. Okay. Same way, H3 dot inch equal to H inch plus H2 dot inch. What it means? The inch value of newly created object is equal to inch value of H1 object plus inch value of H2 object. In this way, your operator function gets executed and it will create new object H3, and these H3 object I am passing into main, correct? The value of this H3 gets assigned to H3 object in your main. Now see here how my program gets executed. In main function, I declared one H1 object, height H1 object by passing 2 parameter 3 and 7. So it will call my parameterized constructor. The 3 value gets copied to F, 7 value gets copied to I, correct? And feet and inch value of H1 object becomes 3 and 7. In same way, when I declared height H2, that means when I declare the object H2 by passing 6 and 1 value, at that time the feet value of H2 becomes 6 and inch value of H2 becomes 1. Okay. Now height H3, that means there is my third object. But as I am not passing any parameter, it will call my first constructor and it will assign the value of feet and inch of H3 object to 0. Okay. So this is about how the values are get assigned to H1, H2 and H3. Now already I explained this. H3 is equal to H1 plus H2. Here I am using plus sign. So automatically my operator plus function gets called. It will try to copy value of H2 object into D2 through this parenthesis bracket, and the value of H1 objects are get automatically considered in feet and inch, correct, in these two calculation equation. H3 dot feet is equal to feet. Feet means feet value of H1 object plus D2 dot feet. These are nothing but copied values of H2 dot feet. H3 dot inch is equal to inch. These are the inch value of H1 plus D2. D2 is nothing but copy of H2. So H2 dot inch. Like this, the respective data variable of these two objects gets added and it will create a new object, correct? So when I try to print the H3 dot fit and H3 dot inch, at that time I will get output as 9 and 8, because here 6 plus 3, this is, it becomes 9, and 7 plus 8 becomes, 7 plus 1 becomes 8. So finally the value in feet and inch of my H3 objects are nothing but 9 and 8. This is about how I can overload an operator as a binary operator or plus operator as a binary. Okay. So from these two programs, you come to know that how you can overload an operator as a unary and operator as binary. Is that clear? Here I wrote the explanation of how plus binary operator gets overloaded. You can go through this. Okay. At the end of chapter, I want to tell some rules. See, my operator function may be a member function of class or may be friend for the class. Okay. By considering these two, I can say only the existing operator can be overloaded and new operators cannot be overloaded. Okay. The overloaded operator must contain at least one operand of the user defined data type. Kamit kami operator form. Correct? Now next, we do not use friend function to overload certain operators. However, the member function can be used to overload this operator. Okay? When unary operators are overloaded through member function, they take no explicit argument, but if they are overloaded by friend function, they can take one argument. And the last rule, when binary operators are overloaded through member function, they take one explicit argument, and if they are overloaded through friend function, they take two explicit argument. Okay. In short, these remaining last two rules I wrote like this. See, this type is nothing but type how you are declaring operator function in a class, and horizontal type is considered as the operator type. So we can make 4 statement. When my function is member and operator is unary, that time I can pass 0 argument. No any argument I can pass. And my function is friend, operator is unary, I can pass 1 argument. When my function is member function, operator is binary, I can pass 1 argument. And when my function is friend, operator is binary, I can pass 2 argument. In short, I can give one clue to remember this rule. When my function is member function, unary means 1, binary means 2. Correct? You can pass number of variable less than the meaning of your operator. And when my function is friend, you can pass number of variables into parenthesis bracket, which is equal to meaning of your operator. Okay. This is the simplest way to remember these rules related to operator overloading. Okay. Thank you, friends.